Glad to have you along for the conversation as we work through another busy day here. So much to talk about. Cory Brewer is a Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty's Deputy Counsel. She joins me now. Cory, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
A lot of conversations. In fact, the Save America Act includes no transgender mutilation surgery for children, according to the president. That's what he wants. A big Supreme Court ruling says you can't hide gender transition from parents, right? You can't hide that. If Johnny goes to school and wants to be Jenny, you need to discuss that with the parents. You can't secretly transition kids in schools. Important decision. And yet, even though transgenderism and that whole strange chapter is starting to pass, it's still going on in too many places, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's so egregious, such a significant violation of parents' rights that many people don't believe this is really happening. But Will has been litigating these cases for years. And as you mentioned, what we just saw at the United States Supreme Court is we had a majority of the justices saying, actually, we do think this probably violates parents' rights, and we think it probably violates their freedom of exercise of religion under the First Amendment. So this wasn't a decision on the merits. It wasn't a final decision, but it is very, very significant.
It's strange to me that there are a whole host of those on the left, politicians. Gavin Newsom in California, where this law was struck down. James Tallarico, the Senate candidate for the Democrats in Texas. All they talk about is transgenderism, as if that's the most important thing that is out there. They talk about this all the time. And for most of us, it's pretty simple. Stop it. We've had detransitioners on this program many times and recently. They get no attention at all in the mainstream media to speak of, almost none. It's like they're the dirty secret of what this really all means. Why do they hide the truth?
Yeah, I think there are people out there that genuinely think they're doing something good for kids, but anyone with common sense knows this is harming children. This ideology, it's good to see a federal administration here that is taking it seriously and wants to define man as man and woman as woman. And beyond that, when you see schools, which is my area of expertise, K-12 education, keeping this a secret from parents. I mean, we had this decision in Mahmoud versus Taylor not long ago, and our law firm came out and said, look, if not letting parents opt out of LGBTQ curricula in the classroom is a violation of their rights, then 100% absolutely secretly transitioning their kids or transitioning children, even socially against their wishes, so referring to them by a different name and pronouns, is also an egregious constitutional violation. You're violating parents' rights to direct the upbringing of their children.
Yeah. So when will this stop? Do we need a federal law here? Where do we go from here? Honestly, and this is part of the SAVE Act, which is voter ID, certifying that you're eligible as an American citizen to vote in the first place, proving your citizenship, and then voter ID, and then this part attached to it. Now, I don't know if it's going to get anywhere because John Thune seems to be dragging his feet, but this has been included in this act, which is pretty significant. That tells you how important it is to the president and his administration. So does it make it?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things that we're watching is, are we going to get some clarity from the United States Supreme Court on this issue? And I think we will eventually. There's also cases at the Supreme Court right now that we're waiting to see if the U.S. Supreme Court takes them on the same issue, this gender secrecy issue. And very hopeful here to see the court that say something along the lines of, schools, when you hide this information from parents, when you socially transition students against the will of their parents, that is a violation of parents' rights. And the Supreme Court here is signaling that schools cannot hide major decisions about a child from their parents. So this is really, really good to see. But hopefully we get that decision on the merits, that final decision that is binding for the country. And we see some real change then at the local levels in schools where kids
Cory,
are
that's really important because you have some states now that have banned all of this. And you have some states like California that continue to push this gender ideology nonsense and think that butchery of little boys and girls is somehow normal. It's not normal. And I go back to these detransitioners. I've talked to so many of them now who say they were just pushed into it. Some had meetings with therapists for as short as 1 hour. 1 hour to decide the whole course of their life. Here, start taking these powerful hormones, start moving forward. It is, well, it's crazy, actually.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Will has actually worked with a transgender psychologist as well, who strongly, very strongly believes that parents need to be involved in this decision, and it should not follow this affirmative model where you just automatically affirm what the minor child believes to be true. Obviously, any parent knows that that is imprudent. These are young children. We need to guide them. We need to direct their upbringing. That's what parents do, right? But the thing here about schools is if they now go against what the U.S. Supreme Court signaled in this Mirabelli case, they need to know that they're risking long, fierce, costly lawsuits. So this, even though it's not a final decision, it is very, very significant. And we issued warnings to districts. We issued notice to parents. You need to, as a parent, opt out of these policies. And as a district, get rid of them. We need to be partnering with parents, not keeping them in the dark.
Time to protect the kids. And I just believe, Cory, we're going to look back at some point and just look at this as a very dark day. A very dark day in American history. Thank you for being here. Keep fighting for what's right. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.